we are going to be moving on here. We are going to be bringing in Fug Nuggler for a nice little interview after what was an incredibly dominating 2 games. Fug, welcome to the desk. I want to be the first to congratulate you on an incredible win.
Yo, thanks, bro. I pretty happy with how the games went. I mean, to be honest, I feel like I got given a very easy job to do in both the games. I mean, I was like, the top's probably going to play tank. I'll just blind Gnar, and then he just picked a tank. And then my first blood, he had R and flash up, and he just didn't press either of them. So I snowballed, and then I never really got ganked. So, I mean, a lot of people are probably like, man, this guy's fucking popping. But it's like, I feel like I got set up by my jungler super hard, and I picked up a lot of random kills, so it made the game really easy. And I think their top underperformed in lane, which made it easier for me to play. I mean, the last game, I'm pretty unhappy with a couple of bad deaths, to be honest. When you have Seraphine and your Volley Bear, I was literally like, I can't die. I'll just jump in their whole fucking team, whatever. And I killed myself at Dragon almost through the fucking soul. But, you know, hey. We got to win anyway because we were far enough ahead, so it didn't matter. But
don't be too hard on yourself, Fug. All right, you did great.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you always think about the times you messed up, not the things you played right?
My gosh, absolutely. Incredibly humble. I gotta say, man, even with, like, we'll start with game 1, even though you're sitting there saying, well, it was handed to me, maybe a little bit of underperformance here, maybe, you were on top of things, man. When it came to the Gnar consistency, whether it be always in the perfect mega form, always being on top of those Gnar ults, going in for those flashes, you were prepped and ready. You were the proactive nature this team needed. Where does that come from, man?
I think it's just playing a lot of 5s. I mean, Finnick can tell you because I actually played with him before in another league. I've played in like 500 5s leagues. I've been captain a bunch of times. So I'm just used to knowing how to communicate engages really well. So I'm just like, hey, I'm getting mega soon. I'm looking for this. I'm going to look for a flash. I call specific people. I'm going to stun this guy after my flash. Go for him. Focus this guy, right? Like, I just know how to call those. So then the team has just been doing a really good job this week of, I think, following up on it. We were commenting afterwards, you know, I think our communication was just really good, which makes those engages look good, right? I mean, if I do those flash engages and no one follows up, then I just look like an idiot who just ulted and flashed away from my team, right? But people are ready, people are listening, and I think that's what makes the engages look so good. I mean, especially the mid laner was hitting dirty ults off all my stuff on either Seraphine or Orianna. He was always like perfectly on time with the ball with the Seraphine ult, and that's what made them so good, right? I mean, if I hit a 5-minute Gnar ult, then nobody sees did it really happen. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter. It's the difference between an int and a wombo combo is the wombo, right? You got to combo with your team. So I think we just played really well on following up and communicating. No one was tilting. Everyone was keeping it cool, and I think that's why it looked so good.
Yeah, bringing up Colebox and how well he combos with you. So he's new to the team. This was realistically your first match.
We
first game
ever.
Yeah.
So you didn't even scrim?
Yeah, our old mid laner went on vacation on Sunday, so we picked this guy up yesterday, and we haven't played with him yet, but it worked out.
Yeah, I'll say. No, so you think he's a good addition towards the team to play around?
He actually had a similar champ pool to our other mid laner as well, which really helped for drafting and what kind of comps we normally run. So I think that was really good. And yeah, I was just happy that we were able to not troll our draft this week, as that's a problem our team has sometimes. I mean, I know we won most of our games last week, but our loss was definitely we just griefed draft that game. And I'm just happy we learned from our one loss last week and we improved on it, and I'm hoping that we continue to do well going into the next game.
No, absolutely. Looking forward, going into that second game, you came through just as strong, but a lot more of a pairing with Sovereign this time around. Take me through that one a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically how he wants to play a lot of the time anyways. We had a bit of a problem with us being disjointed on calls, I'd say sometimes. So, he'd go for invades or he'd go for camps, and I wouldn't really be, it was more on me, like I wouldn't be following. So I'd have the advantage top and I'd be like, hey, if you need me, just tell me. And then I wouldn't proactively walk. I'd wait till he was screwed and then be like, oh, you need help. I'm going to come now. So I was like, you know what? This week, I'm going to walk first before he's screwed, and I'm going to come right to the play, and I'm going to give up CS and not be a greedy top laner. So, yeah, I'm just really trying to focus on that because I feel like I screwed him over before. And after the first game especially, and we saw how well it was working out, we're like, let's just go all in on it. Let's pick 2 lanes that can shove, and let's just let him do whatever the hell he wants. Because I think he played really good the first game. So that looked like a good avenue for us to win. And honestly, if you watch fives in pro play right now, like that's how teams are winning right now. Carry jungle meta, right? I mean, it's getting nerfed for a reason. So if your jungler can play that kind of style, then I think it's up to the lanes to back him up is what makes it look so good.
No,
yeah, and
absolutely.
Sovereign is very complimenting of being able to play that style. You have Tank Udyr from last game, and he still was just doing a lot. Maybe not a whole lot of damage as he finished maxing his Phoenix stance and the damage fell off a little bit, but just the split pressure between them. So my question to you is, you guys pick some really complicated drafts, right? We know these are meta, we know these are tier, but they're very, we do one thing, we do it really well, or we whiff it really hard and throw. But I never saw you throw with the comp once. Are these practice drafts that you're going into, or are your comps just good enough that you're able to find success even on your first try?
I mean, we've lost a lot of games to get to where we are. I mean, we were in, if you guys know the league, PRL as well, and we lost literally every single game we played in that league, I think. So,
damn,
we're in a bunch of leagues. I mean, I'm not going to be shy about it. We have not done it properly, and you learn a lot more from messing it up, right? I mean, the more you play together, the more you're going to figure out how to play these kind of comps. We're slowly figuring out the kind of stuff that works well for us, who's talking for what, who's better at playing the engages, that kind of stuff, right? So I mean, this is just the kind of stuff you figure out. These are the comps that we find easier to play. We've tried playing split push comps and we just do not know how to set it up right, or flank comps or whatever, that kind of stuff, right? Like these kind of weird engage comps where we have to set up the wombos, you have to hit all the ults perfectly. It's easier for us to just have the button and just go and have the prio lanes where you have to snowball in the jungle and stuff. Like that's how we like to play, and we find it easier to play. Otherwise, I tend to find we just don't do anything early game if we don't have someone to play through, right? And that's how we end up losing games, I find. So this play style of aggressive early lanes mid top and just let our jungler run free seems to work well for us. So that's why we're going with it, even if it may seem, I guess, a bit convoluted, like we had to snowball the Elise, you could say, right? Or if we messed up, it could look bad. But for us, it's more of an avenue of something to do in the early game, right? It gives us something so we're not just sitting in our lanes.
No, absolutely. So definitely worked out for you. Is there any teams you kind of look forward to now, kind of going back into the competition that might pose a threat to you guys on Degenerates?
I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't watched too much of the other stream sets just because we haven't played those teams yet. But I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to the other Degenerates are also in here. Unfortunately, their top laner lost power last week, so they FF'd their games because they didn't know where he was. So they're low at the standings, but I mean, it's going to be a lot of crap talk over in the Discord if we win there. So I'm definitely looking forward to beating the sister team if we can.
Awesome. Any last shout outs you want to give before we wrap up this interview here?
All right, I'll give a shout out to SDC League. If you don't have a team and you're looking to form one, or you're a solo player, shout out. They're cool. That's where Finnick, I met him at. He's a really cool dude. He's an Anivia main. Fortunately, I couldn't pull out the bird for him, but you know. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the Karma top I also didn't pull out for him, unfortunately. He's a baller at the Karma top as well.
That's it? No one else?
I mean, I don't really know who else is anyone else in the league.
None of your teammates or anything like that. No love. I'm just putting it out there, you know.
Okay, if I have to, I'll shout out Nick just because he set up the whole team and he funds everything, and he's the one that actually recruited me. To be honest, my most played champ last season was Soraka top, and everyone said that guy looked control and didn't want to touch me with a 50-foot pole. This is the only team I could get a tryout on. So yeah, I'm just happy that Kyle saw something in me and gave me a chance, and I really appreciate that.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you, Mr. Fug Nuggler, for joining us on the desk. Once again, congratulations on a great set. Good luck in your next.
All right, thanks, guys.